Alright, so now we're ready to put the drums back on. And I didn't take these in and have these turned down. There's no, I think somebody replaced these fairly recently. There's no grooves in the braking surface or anything like that. And it's $25 per drum to have it turned, so that's 50 bucks. So I just said, screw it, these are fine. But they do have a little bit of surface rust in there. So I'm just gonna come in here with a little piece of sandpaper and do a little light sanding on this braking surface. And this is only 100 grit sandpaper. So just go around in there a few times, sand off the rust and stuff, and then clean it out with brake cleaner, and then it's ready to go back on the truck. So I got this one drum sanded down, and we got a nice kind of roughened surface. We don't have any surface rust on there or anything like that. And so this drum is ready to go back into the truck. And like I said, I didn't have this one turned. This one doesn't have any deep grooves or anything like that in there. So if your drums look like this and you don't want to get them turned, you don't really have to. This is more than fine. You could just give them a wipe down with a rag and some brake cleaner, or do like I did and rub them with a little bit of sandpaper. But if there's no deep grooves in there, then you're good to go. As long as if you can measure the thickness, the diameter, then do that. But I can tell that these are fairly new. So anyway, this one's ready to go back into the truck. So we're ready to come back in here and put our drum in place. And these GM axles do not have a little adjustment window in the backing plate, which would be down here in the backing plate, to manually adjust what's called the self-adjuster. And the way this kind of works, as far as I understand, is when you put it in reverse and you step on the brakes in reverse, this adjusts out and it keeps your brakes properly adjusted. But to start with, you got to do it manually. So basically what we got to do is put the drum on, spin it, and then we got to have a little bit of drag on the drum. So I'll get the drum on there and show you what I mean. Okay, so I'll try not to block the camera too much with my arm or anything while I'm doing this. And honestly, I should have taken this little retaining nut off before I pushed record. But since we're recording, we'll just do it anyway. So we got that little thing off. Now we're ready to come in here and stick our drum on there. So stick it on there. Make sure it's all the way seated and spin it. You want to hold it up in place against the axle shaft, against the flange of the axle shaft. Press it up tight and spin it. And as you can hear, there's no drag on there. There should be a little bit of scraping noise. Kind of like that, but I've taken the pressure off, and so it's rubbing on the brakes. So we don't have any drag. So we take this off. We come in here. Let's see what I can do here. Show you what I'm doing. Pull this out. Now this side, on the passenger side, it's a left-handed thread. So to adjust it, that's adjusting inward. You roll it away from you to adjust it outward. And you just twist this thing out a little bit. Then you come back and test your drum again. Get the drum all the way on there, press it. There's a very little bit of drag, but there's not enough. So I'll get this set in place and then I'll show you how much drag you should initially put on these. They will adjust themselves out eventually, but you don't want to have these adjusted in all the way and have no contact between your shoes and your drum, because you'll notice it right away that you don't have rear brakes. So it's just good to come in here, adjust it out, a little bit of drag, and then the drum will actually finish it off for you. But let me get this set in place, and I'll show you what I'm looking for. Okay, so I've got the drum adjusted with just a little bit of drag on there, and I'm going to spin it, and hopefully you can hear just a little bit of drag on the drum. So I'm hoping you can hear that, but I've got the drum set, at least this one, so now I just got to go and do the other one, and we'll be ready to put the wheels back on this thing.